All right, we are back. I'm surprised I actually remembered to come back and record more stuff. So, updates. Couple of beers in. Now, this is the next step in what I was hoping to achieve. So, I'll show you, if you've been following on from the earlier video, see how here I just added a little bit of extra foam just to fill in that overhang there. Now, that's just secured with a couple of things, liquid nails, so you can see it's still a little bit sort of got a bit of movement too because it's still drying. And I've actually put some cocktail sticks through here as well just to secure it, because over time I imagine the liquid nails will start to fray, the foam itself will fray, so just something to give it a little bit of structural support. Hopefully will do the job. Now the next thing that I also did with this is you can't really see it, well you can see it through the foam but maybe not to my dodgy eyesight, but at an angle you see it a bit more as well. Textured the buggery out of this piece of foam, mixture of things, given a few whacks with the end of a paintbrush, you know, dropped a thing of glue on it, and then the old faithful roll up some alfoil into like a roll like this and just really roll it across. It gives a nice texture sort of pattern. Main reason for that is this tile is my tester tile. It's just going to be a blank normal, you know, tile with nothing really on it, no hills, no nothing. Great for my main game, which is Warhammer Fantasy, but also will allow me to have some just loose modular terrain that I put on there as well that's not sculpted into the actual table to let me theme the table. So for instance, if I want to put my corn demons down, I throw, you know, some crazy chaos idols down, that sort of stuff, or empire, I might put some barricades or a little farmhouse or whatever, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So it's good to have one or two blank tiles, that sort of thing. In the back of my head, I've sort of used the old plastic Games Workshop Realm of Battle tiles as a bit of a template, but I will be changing it up from that. So that's there. Once this liquid nail stuff is dried, the next step is going to be just applying some ground cover to this table, to this tile in particular. So stay tuned for that. Okay, next update. So as you can see, throwing a bit of color on this table. Now this is not representative of what the final color will look like in the slightest. This is purely a base layer for, obviously it's a foam thing. Over time, nicks, bumps, scrapes, all that sort of stuff is going to happen. This is just so that if that happens, I don't have bright bloody blue shining through. Just got something that will blend a little bit more into the table. Also wanted to give like a nice warm base, that sort of thing, just to help set the tone. Seal the foam in a little bit, all that sort of stuff. It looks diabolical, like heaps of brush strokes and stuff, because I had to use this feckin' thing to paint it on. No idea where my big brushes have gone. This is the other part of the thing. Planning has gone out the window for this. I'm just sort of winging it. Now, just used some classic, whatever, Taubman's sample paint I got. I don't even know when or why I have this, but yeah, happy accident. So yeah, throwing a bit of that down. Next step is I've started creating some basing stuff. So I had a few bits and bobs anyway. This is literally dirt from the backyard. I've just been sifting it out to get through to the fine stuff, which I'll be mixing with a bit of tile grout. Now, whole reasoning behind that is you can activate it, and it sets quite hard, gives you a nice sort of solid surface on top of the foam, which is obviously what we're after. None of these are my fucking original ideas, by the way. This is stuff I've yanked from people's YouTube videos. Mad shout out to Adam from 3D Games on YouTube. His desert table that he made for Lord of the Rings was a massive inspiration to me for this. I'll be basically following a lot of his steps on this table myself. Maybe a much more dumbed down version of it. You should check that video out, actually. It's fucking table looks absolutely amazing, gorgeous stuff. A lot more, you know, epic than anything I'll be going for, but you know, baby steps. So the main thing I'm trying to get my head around is sort of Spain itself has a very varied climate, from north to south, but also mostly arid, but there is still greenery, that sort of stuff. It's a very just classic Mediterranean sort of, you know, landscape. So it's still going to be earthy tones, you know, you don't want to make it look completely desert-like. There is still, you know, earthy tones, but it is not sort of your wet, dark brown muds of Northern Europe, that sort of thing. So with that being said, I went for a mocha coloured tile grout, which I'll mix in with just whatever soil I've got in my backyard. Hopefully blend the two will give me a nice medium sort of brown. And then the other thing being is you want to modulate it a little bit, so I will throw some, you know, bigger pebbles and rocks and stuff through there as well. Once this is dry, I'll just be doing it in sections, throwing a bit of PVA down, throw your rocks on, throw your tile grout on, all that sort of stuff. Once I've done all of that, I'll then go through over the whole thing with isopropyl alcohol, just again in sections. I've also got, in fact, I think I've got it over here. Again, excuse the pigsty. Some of this stuff from Geek Gaming stuff. This is my friend Lockie from Zorpazorp. He sent this to me, and it's basically sealant for terrain stuff. So I'm hoping to put this to good use. Got a couple of bottles of that. Hopefully we'll, you know, that'll do the job. But yeah, man, it's shaping up pretty good. Alrighty, so we're back at it with the continuation of this terrain build video. Didn't manage to get back into the garage last night as it was games night, so I went out and played some games and shit, and then by the time I got home, wasn't vibing it, to be honest. So we're pretty much in the same spot as we were, you know, just before that little break. So next port of call is I've started doing a few bits and bobs, like future planning. So I'll just show you here. So we started separating out some soil, like just from the backyard, like I was saying, just like that's all the clumpy shit sift out. Just this is the stuff we want, nice fine kind of thing. Got my tile grout, which I'll be sort of mixing through with this, just to obviously give the structural side of it. The soil's more just for spreading the coverage kind of thing, because you obviously don't want fucking heaps of tile grout lying around. It'll end up getting heavy. So the board itself, same sort of spot, not much has changed. Now, how I was saying before, this is going to be my plain sort of tester tile, that sort of thing. The more I've thought about it, I don't want it completely plain, because that is going to look a bit shit. So I'm thinking, I've got somewhere, he says, in this fucking garage. Yes, I do. Big ass bag of slate that I bought from Bunnings. I don't even know how long ago. I'm guessing to use for basing and stuff like that, which I have done a bit of, to be fair. I'm thinking what I'll do is I will glue a bunch of them. I don't know how many a bunch is. I'll just eyeball it and see what feels right. Down here, just either a bit of hot glue or PVA maybe, I'm not sure. And use that to break it up a bit, smaller stones around it, and then I'll hit it with the basing mix for the general sort of it. Not so much big rocks that it will, you know, get in the way of gameplay, that kind of thing, but break it up so it's not just literally a flat piece of shit. But we'll see how that looks after we've done it. Gonna use PVA to stick everything down before I hit it with the isopropyl and the activator. So yeah, fingers crossed, you know, we get some good results. Alrighty, so I've hot glued a bit of slate down. As you can see here, I've just been doing a few little tests with just some movement trays, just to see sort of spacing for moving through them, but also the height of them. Just like if you do need to stick a unit on top, how much wobble and all that kind of thing. And for the most part, it's negligible, so it's really not going to be an issue. Here with a bigger one as well. So opted for hot glue, just because it's quick and easy. This will all get like a go around with PVA anyway, so that should just double up the sort of firmness, which is what we're all about. So yeah, now it's going to be a case of a bit of PVA around these, and then some scatter rock type stuff. So I've got a bunch of different things I could use. I've got some old desert type mix with little, yeah, it's coarse sand mixed with smaller rocks. That's literally road based. One of the neighbors was doing a new driveway a few months ago, yoink. I kept hold of this stuff. I thought, could I use that for anything? But we'll see. Not sure about that. Yeet. Alright, so there's PVA down, just some scatter rock. As you can see, it's all over the shop, which is a sort of effect I will go for eventually. Obviously, the loose ones that are not on top of the glue are not going to stay in place. But when I come back and do all of the, you know, the actual ground basing stuff, and we're doing big patches of PVA, then, you know, we'll scatter some of that in as we go. So it's starting to give me a general sort of feel for how this is going to look, you know, and I'm happy so far. Just got to wait for the PVA to dry now. I've gone pretty heavy-handed on the PVA just because the fucking tub I had, the lid broke off, so we're just dunking it out. So as you can see, I'll get a bit closer. Went for the bigger rock parts from the road base, just sieved it out. Happy days. Salt bay it on. Still leaving plenty of gaps around it, and I'm literally just letting it fall, trying to make sure there's some of it close to the rocks, as like, you know, the bigger rocks would crumble naturally, but also space to show that it's scattered and fallen down a bit. And then with that space in between, that will let me, you know, fill it with the basing stuff. So yeah, once that dries, we'll seal it and then on to the next step.